But now, to Gaza and the ongoing war, with last week's big question for the media being, was the Hamas headquarters underneath the Al-Shifa hospital? Israel and the Americans were convinced it was, and News Corp was equally certain, with Thursday's front page in The Australian announcing
war on Hamas's hospital HQ.
And Yoni Bashan telling readers in a separate Page One story.
Above ground is an overrun hospital. Below the surface is a military nerve centre so vast that even terrorists captured on October 7 were happy to gossip about it with interrogators.
Most senior Hamas political and military officials are hiding in the hospitals, especially in Shifa,
one Hamas operative said during questioning.
And The Australian's editorial also allowed no doubt that it was there, declaring
Israel plunges into pit of terror, shielded by hospital.
And claiming that the IDF's precise and targeted operation inside Al-Shifa would be
a pivotal development in the war.
So, when Israeli soldiers went in to root out the terrorists, what did they find? Short answer, not quite what we were led to expect. The IDF claimed in a tweet in late October that the Al-Shifa hospital was the main headquarters for Hamas terrorist activity and offered this intelligence-based video of a major complex concealed underneath. But straight after last week's raid, Trey Yingst from Fox News brought us this reality from the scene.
They are still searching at this hour for the tunnels that they say are beneath the hospital, but they did recover weapons they say belong to Hamas in an MRI room here on one side of the facility. And when you look behind the machine, you see the weapons and ammunition the Israelis say Hamas had ready to go.
IDF spokesperson Colonel Jonathan Conricus also took video footage of a tour of part of the hospital to show what soldiers had found, including weapons, backpacks and booklets. But that left many journalists unconvinced, with the New York Times visual investigations expert Eric Toller tweeting,
no tunnels, command centres, etc. to be found in any of these clips or pictures.
So, was the Hamas headquarters there? We still don't know, but its commanders certainly weren't. On Friday, Israel released stills and video of more weapons, and today this video of what does appear to be a tunnel, ending in a metal door. But for now, it's still unclear, lost in the fog of war. And in the meantime, disinformation battles on social media continue and become even more intense. On Wednesday, Israeli social media influencer Edie Cohen, who calls himself a journalist, PhD and expert on Arab affairs, tweeted,
"Our soldiers are inside Hamas tunnels."
And 4.7 million people got his message. But it turned out the footage was from 2022. And the New York Times investigation revealed
this isn't a Hamas tunnel, it's an old transmitter facility in Sweden.
Meanwhile, at another Gaza hospital, CNN broadcast a senior IDF spokesman's claim to have found a room where hostages had been held.
This is a guarding list. Every terrorist has his own shift.
In this room, he says, a guard list that begins October 7th.
Only for CNN to delete it after it was revealed that the names on the calendar were days of the week. But far crazier and more serious claims than that are being made on both sides. On 28th of October, in a tweet viewed almost 1 million times, a 24-year-old self-described Make America Great Again communist called Jackson Hinkle, who believes Joe Biden is controlled by a satanic deep state cabal, proclaimed,
Hamas is not guilty of the atrocities on October 7th.
Hinkle claimed Israel had killed its own civilians with tanks, crossfire and airstrikes. And in another tweet, viewed more than 5 million times, Hinkle said Hamas had burned, raped and tortured no one, claiming Read the Dead.
50% were Israeli soldiers. Burns occurred from Israeli shelling. No beheaded babies. Number of people Hamas shot, less than 100.
Hinkle sourced those claims to an investigation by the Israeli paper Haaretz, which he said had exposed Israeli lies. But Haaretz immediately denied it, saying his claims were blatant lies and had absolutely no basis in Haaretz's reporting. Hinkle has been banned from YouTube, WhatsApp and Instagram for spreading false information, but he still commands a huge following on other social media platforms like Rumble, Telegram and X, where he has 2.1 million followers and claims to be its most viral account. But Hinkle's not the only one trying to absolve Hamas for the atrocities that kicked off the war. Piers Corbyn, brother of the former UK Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn, has claimed the hostages taken by Hamas may just be actors, and says Israel green-lighted the October 7 massacre so it could steal Gaza's oil.
The Israeli government wanted to allow it to happen.
Do I understand correctly, you're saying it was basically a false flag operation?
Yes, it was a false flag operation. It was an excuse, a pretext to launch this genocide attack.
It is crazy and depressing that millions of people believe this stuff. But some of the myths and lies spread by Israel's supporters are also abhorrent. We've been told repeatedly that Hamas's casualty figures, showing thousands of civilian deaths, can't be trusted. But we're also now being told that wounded Palestinians we see on TV are faking it. This tweet and video, with 1.8 million views, is from Amjad Taha, a well-known Arab-Israeli influencer based in the UK.
He wakes up, no bandages, fake blood, does a grand reveal, 0 injuries. It's all just an Oscar-worthy performance for the camera.
That video was also shared by Australia's Imam of Peace, whom Media Watch has tangled with in the past, racking up 3.9 million views.
He is fine. It's just an act, Mummy. It's called Pallywood.
As in, Palestine meets Hollywood. Why anyone in Gaza would waste time faking injuries when the hospitals are full of dead and injured is not explained. But it has been debunked by journalists from BBC Verify, who found the full video on Instagram, showing the man being brought to hospital in an ambulance.
The man isn't faking. The video was posted on Instagram by journalist Mohammed Awad.
And a similar claim of Palestinians faking injuries from the Israeli PM spokesperson to the Arab world, Ophir Gendelman, has also been debunked by BBC Verify, which revealed
It's behind-the-scenes footage of a Lebanese short film about Palestinians called The Reality, as stated by the film's director.
And another Israeli spokesperson, Mark Regev, was challenged forcibly on that last week by MSNBC's Mehdi Hassan.
You said propaganda. Can we just deal with your colleague Ophir Gendelman's tweet? It's still up 7 days later. Why has it not come down? It's a Lebanese short film. We can put it on screen. It's not Palestinians faking their own injuries. Can we own up to that mistake and take that down? Is that not propaganda?
Once again, I understand that was also a mistake. And
so why is it still up 7 days later?
I'll speak to Ophir about it if you like. I'll speak to Ophir about it if you like.
And talking of mistakes, though much more quickly corrected, the ABC apologised last week for one of its own. With the 7 p.m. bulletin running footage they said was of patients inside the Al-Shifa hospital running and hiding from Israeli soldiers, which had been posted as such on X, but was in fact from 2013 in Egypt. It is getting harder and harder to know what's genuine, which of course is the aim of those who spread this stuff. But in the meantime, there are still real journalists in Gaza whose reports can be trusted. But at the latest count, at least 48, mainly Palestinian journalists, have lost their lives.